So let me get the shloka on screen. Can I have a volunteer to chant the shloka? Snigdha,
Yeah.
would you like to? Okay. I'll just get it on screen. Okay. So you can chant the shloka. I'll chant the shloka line by line and you can follow after me.
Just can you say one word?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
So let's start. Yadā yadā
Yada yada
hi dharmasya
idharmasya
ग्लानिर्भवति भारत
ग्लानिर्भवति भारत
अभ्युत्थानम्
अभ्युत्थानम्
अधर्मस्य
अधर्मस्य
तदात्मानं
तदात्मानं
सृजाम्यहम् सृजाम्यहम्
सृजाम्यहम्
Yeah. यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य
यदा यदा हि धर्मस्य
ग्लानिर्भवति भारत
ग्लानिर्भवति भारत
अभ्युत्थानम्
अभ्युत्थानम्
अधर्मस्य
अधर्मस्य
तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम्
तदात्मनारं
तदात्मानं
तदात्मानं
सृजाम्यहम्.
सृजाम्यहम्.
Yeah. Could you read the meaning?
Whenever there is a decline in
Righteousness.
righteousness and an increase is unrighteousness. O Arjuna, at the time I manifest myself on earth.
Okay. Thank you, Snigdha. Okay. What does this shloka mean? What is Krishna saying when he manifests in this earth? Let me tell a short story before we get into the meaning. So long back, there was a king, and he wanted to test he had 3 ministers, and he wanted to test their loyalty. So he gave them a challenge. He told, I want fruits. So can you please pick me some fruits so I can eat them? He told this to each of his 3 ministers. And all of them went out into his kingdom in search of fruits. They went to markets, they went to the forest, and they went all everywhere in search. So the first minister, he was extremely loyal. He went in search with the mindset that, oh, my king is asking me to do this. So his king is specifically asking. So he had that sense of respect for his king. So he thought, oh, my king is asking me to do it. So I need to do the best I can. So I can feed the best of food to my king. And he plucked really ripe and tasty and nice fruits for his king. The next minister, he thought, oh, the king is asking for fruits. He won't really look into the bag. He'll just look at the fruits from the top because he's such a busy person. He has a whole kingdom to look after. He won't look at the fruits at the inside. So the second minister, he picked some ripe fruits and he picked some little bad and like fruits that weren't so good. The last minister, he was like, oh, the king will only look at the size of the bag. He won't look at anything. I don't need to do a great job. So he just took a bunch of leaves and he stuffed it in the bag and he came. So finally, all 3 ministers, a few weeks later, they came and they showed these exquisite fruits that they had collected, that they had claimed to collect. So they came to the king and then they showed this, and the king, he said something none of them expected. He said, go to the jail and stay there for a month. So all 3 were put in the jail with their bags of fruits and were left in the jail for a month. So what do you think would happen? Obviously, the first one had really nice and ripe and tasty fruits. So he was perfectly fine. He could eat whatever he had collected and he was completely fine. But the second one, he ate the good fruits and at the start, and towards the end he had to eat something, so he ate the bad fruits, and he eventually got he eventually got ill because of the bad fruits that were in there. So he got diseases, and he felt really ill. And the poor third minister, he didn't even put any effort into the king's job, and he died in the jail because he hadn't done the work. So he had only leaves and nothing else, dry leaves, and he couldn't eat that. So this is what happened. So one of them was perfectly fine, the other fell a little ill, and the third one completely couldn't survive in the jail because of his own doing. So what is this shloka? What is this story or this shloka tell us? So from this we can learn. So there's a simple saying, if you can see at the top, as you sow, so you shall reap. What does this mean? So imagine you have a mango fruit, and you put it and you plant it. Many years later, you get a mango tree. You can't expect a tomato plant to grow or a chili plant to grow because you've put a mango tree. So you put mango seeds. So you shall reap. So whatever you work towards, whatever you work for, that's what the fruit of the action you will get. So this is just one part of the shloka. So what is whenever there is a decline in righteousness and an increase in unrighteousness. So how is this story talking about righteousness and unrighteousness? So we can see from the minister, the first one who collected good fruits, you can see that he had a lot of righteousness in him because he worked with loyalty, he worked with the right mentality towards his king. But whereas the third minister who collected just a big bag of dry leaves, you see a lot of unrighteousness in him. So when he say at that time I manifest on earth, he doesn't literally mean, although in the stories they say that he has manifested as Rama or Krishna or various forms. In this context, it doesn't necessarily mean that he physically manifests. He may manifest as the thoughts in your mind or the mindset. So in this story, Krishna manifested as in the first minister as I should help my king, I should do the best work for my king. So let's do a short experiment, not a short experiment, but more of an activity. So take like as we did last time for the Shat Sampati, we listed down a few qualities, right? So think about yourself. Think about the righteous qualities, the qualities where you think Krishna has manifested in you. So look at yourself. Think about what qualities in me can I can say that Krishna manifested in me, or the qualities that in me are righteous. So take a minute and also think about qualities that are unrighteousness of me. So qualities that push me down or don't or they can sort of represent the third minister. So look at these two qualities. So
Can you tell an example for this?
yeah, I will. So for the first example, let's say um, I tend to do the work that I'm given on time. So let's say I've been given a homework. I feel my good quality is that I finish it within the time it's given with. And my bad quality is sometimes that I don't do this work until the last minute. So I push this until the last day, and then I do it. So I can see that the first quality is Krishna manifesting in me, and the second quality is the quality of unrighteousness or the quality of the third minister. Is that clear, Sigda?
Yeah.
Panaga, do you have a question?
No, I just wanted to say the answer.
Okay, we can all take a minute. Okay. So at 7:48, okay, 7:47, I'll ask you to give me your answers. Okay, it's 7:48. Are you ready with your answers, or do you need another minute? Okay, I'll take that as a yes. Okay, Panaga, go ahead.
Yeah, my righteousness quality is like I'll be kind to the people. My unrighteousness quality is like, I get very angry when someone does bad thing or something, bad thing for me, especially.
So can I say that's anger?
Sorry?
Anger? In a way?
Yeah,
Okay. Anything else?
no.
Okay. Thank you. Anybody else? Next person. Tejas, go ahead.
So for the qualities that benefit me, I would say that I like obeying your parents and your loved one.
Mhm.
And for the ones that I need to change is actually it's same thing, anger actually.
Okay, anger. Okay. Rohan, please go ahead.
Yeah, the qualities that help me is to be aware of the surroundings, like listen to everyone, and
Beautiful.
the quality is the same, anger.
Okay, anger. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Anything else, Rohan? Okay.
No.
Thank you, Rohan. Snigdha and Vartika?
Yeah. So first, I'm going to say,
Yeah.
so the good quality about myself is that, like whenever my teachers tell me to complete something, I always complete it that day itself. And the bad quality about myself is that sometimes, like when I get too angry, I shout at the person, and they become, and that makes them feel bad. Yeah. Next, you will tell.
My good quality is when I think before I speak, and my bad quality is whenever I'm fed up, I speak some words which may make which may make them feel bad.
Okay, so can I put this in the same category as before? So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
shouted others. Okay.
yeah.
So sorry. Yeah. So more, anyone else? Sanvi, would you like to share?
No.
Okay. Raghavi, Spurti.
I'd say the good qualities in me is probably that I have good observation skills and I tend to listen to everyone's ideas.
Sorry, I didn't get the first one. What is that?
I have good observation skills. I like to observe my surroundings.
So can I say
And
aware of my sound?
yeah.
Okay.
And the qualities I need to modify are probably that I shouldn't get angry and I shouldn't react to what other people tell.
Okay. Awesome. Anything else, Raghavi?
No.
All right. Snigdha and Vartika?
Actually, I wanted to say something. I
Yeah.
wanted to say another good quality about myself is
Hmm.
that, like, I love learning new things, and I'm very creative, and I'm also very creative.
Yeah. Thank you, Snigdha. Spurti, ಏನಾದ್ರು ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಿದ್ಯಾ? Okay. Okay, awesome. So what we've made here is a simple list of qualities that help me and qualities that don't help me, or qualities that I need to change in me. So this, I can say, is on a more individualistic level. So when I'm talking about righteous and unrighteous, it's about only me in this case. But we can expand this understanding to look at our society, or even the world as a whole. So let's look at society. How can we look at righteousness and unrighteousness in society? Let's take a simple example. Let's say there's a person who so I read about a really good example. So there's a mother who has 5 children, and none of them have eaten in days. And she goes to a bread shop, and she steals the bread because she neither has money, and she has to feed her both, and she has to feed her hungry children. So she goes to the bread store, and she steals a few bread pieces for her children. So what do you think? Do you think this is righteous or unrighteousness?
Unrighteousness.
Okay, can you expand? Why do you think it's unrighteousness?
Because if you don't have money, it's not the thing you should stole bread from. Stole bread. It's not like bread. Because there are a lot of people who live by the bread. So it's like taking a person's life by stealing a few pieces of bread. So if you had be kind, and if you had asked it in a very they would have given you free kind of a stuff.
But that's not necessarily always the case, right? There might be some people who think, oh, it's my bread, I prepared it by my effort, and you have to pay for it. You're a mother, and doesn't mean you don't have to pay, right? So this doesn't necessarily expand to every case. There might be some people who are kind over there, but in this particular case, we don't know, right? So we can't directly say that the mother was at fault.
Yeah.
Do you agree, or do you have anything to add?
No, making bad things for your own good or something like that is not wrong. Bad thing is a bad thing is what I follow.
So you're saying the intention behind it is what matters, right? Snigdha?
Yeah, so I just wanted to add on to what Rohan said. Like instead of stealing, I wanted to add on to what Rohan said, like
When?
about stealing the bread thing.
I don't think Rohan said anything.
Who said it then? I think it was Rohan, right?
No, Panaga just shared.
Oh, Panaga said it. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just wanted to add on to it. Yeah. So basically, that about the bread thing. So basically, like instead of stealing, he can like just what do you say? He can just like he can earn it himself. Like people have to learn how to be independent. They can't be dependent on somebody else. They also
Right.
have to.
But the mother isn't necessarily but she hasn't fed her children in days. She can't find a job and get some money and then feed her children, right? So she needed food immediately.
Then she has to ask because she has no choice. If she sees some rich person, then she has to ask or she has to beg.
Right. Okay, that's what you feel. Vartika, what do you think?
I have the same thing, like which Snigdha and Panaga told. The same incident happened to me. My one friend, she like always she steals my things. So one day, my teacher caught her stealing my things. She asked the reason. She told that her parents like doesn't allow her, so she just take it, but without informing others. So she could just ask, and the teacher told her she could just ask instead of stealing things.
Right. Yeah. True. Anything else to add? Okay.
No, nothing else.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, Rohan.
I think it's unrighteousness to the bread seller, and I think it's righteousness to the mother. They both have different viewpoints.
Can you tell more? How is it righteousness to the mother and unrighteousness to the?
Like it is righteousness to the mother because obviously, if he doesn't feed their babies, the babies will die, and it's unrighteousness to the shopkeeper of the bread shop, because if he loses his money without any reason, it will be a huge loss for him.
Right. So you're saying from the point of view of the mother, it's a righteous action, but from the point of view of the bread owner, it's an unrighteousness.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. So there are multiple views on the same thing, right?
Yeah, that's what
Yeah,
yes.
so like this, there are many things we can look. So this shloka can expand its meaning into society too. This is just an simple example, so you can think about further. Think about who was really at fault. Is there anyone at fault, right? So this can be expanded to the society as a whole. So, and in this case, we can say that Krishna manifested in some form. So let's say this story extended into something where some other man came and he paid off the bread owner, because the bread owner was accusing the mother, and he came and he paid for the mother. So this, we can look at it as many things. So there can be many forms of Krishna in this, right? And let's look, and how can we expand this meaning into the whole world as a whole? So I'm sure many of you have heard of deforestation, right? So deforestation is a simple example. So what is deforestation? So many industrial companies and many people take down trees and cut down trees for multiple uses. It may be for furniture, it might be for production of electricity. There are many, or for use of farmland or many things like that. So deforestation is a very common thing that's happening around the world. But what are the effects of this? How can we say that Krishna is manifesting over there when we deforest? So over there we can see that Krishna is manifesting as the repercussions of deforestation. So what are the repercussions? There's a lot of CO2 that's being released, and that cannot be processed, because we know that forests and trees are a huge CO2 cleaners, because they take in CO2 and they release O2, right? So we can see the repercussions by seeing the bad quality of air, and we can see natural disasters through floods. So we can expand this meaning. We can say that Krishna is manifesting as these forms, the bad quality of air, the floods, the natural disasters. So we see that this meaning of the shloka can apply to the whole world. So every action we do, everything we do, we can see that Krishna does something back in return. If it's something that necessarily helps someone, he helps. Krishna helps you, not necessarily directly. It might be in a different form. But if it's something that pushes down someone else or pushes down yourself, you can see that Krishna manifests as something that doesn't help you. That's essentially what the shloka tells us about. So it doesn't necessarily have to apply to you. It can apply to the whole society. It can apply to the whole world as one being. Is that clear?
Yes.
Anyone has any questions related to what we just discussed, or the story, or the shloka? Anything? Awesome. I think we're a little short of time. So we'll have 3 lucky people. So you three can share your understanding briefly, as briefly as you can, related to the shloka. Okay, Snigdha and Vartika.
Okay, so what I understood from the story is that, like, basically you should always be loyal to somebody. So when somebody gives you a task, you should always loyally and honestly you should do it. You should not be like, okay, fine, they won't tell me anything. If I do this, they won't tell me anything. You should never expect what you think. Everything will not happen of like what you think will happen. So everything will not happen the way you want. Sometimes it might happen the way the others want, right? So you should always just do your task. Don't think of anything else. Just like what the first minister did. But if when I come to the second minister brought half ripe and half not ripened. So he's just, it's showing that he's not showing any respect. Like, he's showing some respect for the king, but like he's not doing the task which is given for him, but he's doing something else. He's the king told him to bring very good fruits, but he brought half ripened, half not ripened. So he just did not complete his task. He only did half of his task. But when I come to the third minister just did not do anything. He just took a bag of dry leaves. So meaning that he has no respect for the king, unlike the second and the first minister. So this is what I understood from the story.
Right. And what about the activity? Do you have anything to share about that?
The activity, so basically there are many qualities that like everyone has within them, is that they're always kind to people, they obey their elders, and they're always like um, they're always thinking before they speak, or they're so interested in learning new things and like etc. And there are some things which most people have which are bad about them. So there are many things which people have, it's actually normal in a person, but they have to improve in that. It's about like especially anger. So anger is something which people sometimes cannot control, it just comes out. So and then like reacting to others, to what others say, is also like the same thing as anger. So sometimes whenever somebody says something to you, you might react in a very angry way which makes them hurt. So there are some bad qualities of a person. That's what I
Mhm.
understood.
Thank you, Snigdha. Thank you. Really well said.
Yeah, Vartika was gonna say.
Yeah, Vartika.
From this story, I understand that we shouldn't be greedy. As the first minister did to the second minister, he completed his task, but he brought like half. Like that was the second minister. Basically, he brought good for like him, and the rip one from the for the second minister. So we shouldn't be greedy for ourselves. We have to like think about others too.
Hmm. Right. Do you have anything to share about the activity and how this can expand? This can be for individual and society and the world.
For the activity that we have good qualities is it's good to have, but for bad qualities we have to improve ourselves to be like more improvement in ourselves.
Right. So this not only applies to me as a person, but can apply to the whole world and to every single person.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Thank you, Snigdhan. Thank you, Vartika. Really well said. Panaga.
Yeah, the thing I understood from the story is like, be loyal, work hard as much you can. Leave the result for the God who will give. But the hard work is the only thing which you have in your hand. You cannot say that the result should be like this. It is not in your hand. So that is what I learned from the story one. And the activity I learned is like, most of us, it's my bad quality, if I can say it more clearly, that most of us, we give our good qualities, but we actually don't speak up the bad qualities what we have. uh, yeah, I do say that, like, that is what the humans does. Like, the most thing they do is, they control emotions. So I hope that is not right.
Right. So we tend to hide our bad emotions and only talk about our good emotions. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Really true. Anything else to add, Panaga?
nothing.
Okay. Thank you, Panaga. Thank you. Yeah, Snigdha, please add.
Yeah, so and in the story I also forgot to mention that the king was also very smart. So like he knew that some people are very self-absorbed, or like we can say selfish, and some people and like some of them are very selfless. And yeah, so since he wanted to test them, so that's why he put them in prison. So like there is like whenever people do something which is like very shocking or surprising, it's like for a reason. So just like the king did, he put them in prison to see if they actually bought fruits or if they bought something else. So that's why he put them to prison to just test them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
True. So like sometimes we don't know who is speaking the truth to us and who is not, right? Thank you, Snigdha. Thank you. All right then. With that, we'll end today's shloka contemplation. Thank you, everyone. Really well said and really well shared.